for the YouTube, y'all. This your boy, and we rocking out with the satanic narratives, and y'all need to listen in right now.
The nature of reality is shit happens. Many events are largely beyond one's control. There is no intentionality guiding anything. We are adrift in a chaotic universe, like a raft with no rudders or paddles, flowing through different currents, wind blowing us in different directions. One can exert a certain amount of influence and accomplish things, but life is not fair, and a great many things are beyond one's control. The universe has no objective moral code, and without that or any gods, there can be no truly objective morality. At this level, nothing matters, and no outcome is better than any other. Morality begins at this place of nihilism and chaos. We must have some sort of basis for our morality, for the value judgments we make. Many people looked to nature to do this, and that is certainly the right direction, but it is not so simple. The problem with ideas like survival of the fit and strong is it assumes a fairness that simply cannot exist in this chaotic reality. It also ignores the group survival advantage, which is critical to natural selection in any social species such as humans. Finally, it tries to make a value judgment, or assert the way something should be, based only on what is. The existence of something in nature contains no information regarding how that thing should be. This group survival aspect that is ignored can be made a focal point. This action also solves the other two problems. Understanding that we are a social species, and we evolved to survive as a group, is critically important. Surviving as a group allows us to collectively compensate for negative events that happen in our chaotic reality. It also gives us something we call a conscience. This is what we call our raw moral feelings. As a social species, we have these feelings in common, as they are a product of our evolution. They are subjective, as they are feelings, but because we all have them, we can treat them as if they were objective. It is kind of like every single person liking chocolate ice cream the best. Chocolate would not objectively be the best flavor, as it is a subjective experience, but being universal would mean it could be treated exactly the same as something that is an objective fact. This is the basis and beginning of morality. We can use logic, reason, and empirical evidence to shape and improve this morality. However, at the same time, illogic, superstition, ignorance, and good old-fashioned stupidity can corrupt one's moral compass. We can also use reason to decide on actions we should take based on these moral feelings. So, while it starts with a feeling, it being virtually universal allows it to be treated the same as something objective. Reason and empirical evidence are objective. Therefore, you can have a sense of what is more right and what is less right. This highlights where on the spectrum something is, as far as how positive or negative its effects would be. This brings us to an understanding, where we can have certain moral truths. These truths can be expressed in a code of ethics. These statements of morality are fundamental and cover the vast majority of situations. However, the fundamental nature of any list of moral precepts can never be applied to everything. Sometimes additional reasoning is required. Secular ethics is the branch of moral philosophy one would use to construct a secular moral code. It is based on the ideas explained up to this point, and gives guidelines for a certain formulaic way of crafting a code of ethics. The main points of the formula for creating a set of secular ethics are covering all the basic concepts, keeping each one brief, and having a poetic feel to it. I decided, for a couple different reasons, to endorse an existing code of secular ethics rather than create my own. If I did make a code of ethics, it would look like a copy of other codes because of the formulaic nature. If I tried to move away from the formula to make it different, it would not turn out well at all. That is why the formula is always followed when creating these. In addition, there is no need to reinvent the wheel. Since there is a code of secular ethics well known to many Satanists, and I happen to think it is a particularly well-crafted one, I decided to endorse that set of moral tenets. This code of secular ethics is called the Seven Tenets, and is well known as the central piece of philosophy of the religious organization called the Satanic Temple. Doug Messner, who also goes by the name Lucian Greaves, wrote the Seven Tenets and co-founded the Satanic Temple. I will print their tenets here for your convenience. As you will see, it follows the formula for secular ethics perfectly and is linguistically beautiful. 1. One should strive to act with compassion and empathy towards all creatures in accordance with reason. 2. The struggle for justice is an ongoing and necessary pursuit that should prevail over laws and institutions. 3. One's body is inviolable, subject to one's own will alone. 4. The freedom of others should be respected, including the freedom to offend. To willfully and unjustly encroach upon the freedoms of others is to forego your own. 5. Beliefs should conform to our best scientific understanding of the world. We should take care never to distort scientific facts to fit our beliefs. 6. People are fallible. If we make a mistake, we should do our best to rectify it and resolve any harm that may have been caused. 7. Every tenet is a guiding principle designed to inspire nobility in action and thought. The spirit of compassion, wisdom, and justice should always prevail over the written or spoken word. The narrative of the Leviathan.